everybody, and welcome back to another Windows tutorial video. Now, I'm sure you guys probably haven't noticed, but for me, it's been probably about 2 weeks since I've sat here in front of this microphone and talked to you guys, made a video for you guys. I've been on vacation, as you guys might know. I've uploaded the Majesty Experience video, which hasn't gotten as many views, and that's probably because it's not something that we normally do on this channel, but I still wanted to make that video. But it's probably been a good solid 2 weeks since I've sat here and made a video for you guys. That Windows Server 2003 video was published using YouTube's scheduled upload feature, so yeah, you guys probably didn't even notice that I was out that entire week until that I came back with the Majesty video. But yeah, it's good to be back here making videos for you guys. And what better way to start that all off with making another requested tutorial, and that one is going to be on Windows 98. And yeah, this was actually requested a lot by you guys. Let's just see here. This was suggested by QUEN Flow, Jaguar, Auburn Incorporated. Let's see who else here. Andrew 98G and SeepMan Productions. Those are I think that's 4 names that I have. I'm sure there's probably more. Like I mentioned with the Windows Server 2003 video, you guys suggest these videos, but I don't really get around to making them until afterwards, as I'm currently working on all these other projects at the time. So yeah, I'm glad to be finally doing this one. Sorry if I missed anyone who also wanted this video made, but yeah. So, and Windows 98 was probably one of the most sentimental, I guess you could say, operating systems to me. I mean, this was actually the first operating system that I ever used when I got my first computer. I got my dad's old CyberMax PC, which is a company that doesn't even exist anymore, and it came with Windows 98 on it, and I used that was my first computer, and that's what I got into using, or enjoying using computers with. So yeah, let's just get on with the video. I wanted to try something a little bit different. I have noticed that a lot of people during the whole virtual machine creation process, they'll just skip through that whole thing. According to YouTube analytics, that's what it's telling me. So instead of going through this whole process where I tell you step by step what to do in creating the actual virtual machine, I'm sure that can get a bit boring. So I'm just going to actually tell you the virtual machine specifications that you need. And this can also help you, because I know most of you guys probably aren't using VMware. So if you're using something different, this whole process here is not exactly the same on every single software. So I'm just going to give you the exact VM recommended specifications. Now, these are obviously for VMware, but this would work fine in any other virtual machine software. So you're going to want to set the guest operating system type to Windows 98, give it 256 megabytes of RAM, 1 CPU, and around 8 gigabytes of hard drive space. Now that can vary. I'm sure Windows 98 doesn't need 8 gigabytes of drive space to work properly, but that is what VMware recommends, and I'm just going to go with that recommendation. You can set it above or below that if you want to. And yeah, if you guys like that method better, because you see we just kind of skip through probably a whole 5-minute thing, which kind of saves time on the whole video. If you guys like this method, be sure to let me know. If you want me to go back to the older method in the next video, also be sure to let me know that as well. I'm just trying something different because I just want to see how this goes. So yeah, here we are with one of the virtual machines that I have created with these same specifications, and we're going to edit the virtual machine settings. And what you're going to want to do is go down to the CD drive, and you want to mount the ISO file. Now I'm going to be doing this with Windows 98 2nd edition, as I believe that there have been some people that wanted both Windows 98 and Windows 98 2nd edition, but I'm just going to make one video for Windows 98 2nd edition because the actual install process for both are kind of the same. There's not really anything that's graphically any different, so it would be kind of a waste to make 2 separate videos. But so yeah, I'm just going to be doing Windows 98 2nd edition, and I'm going to put just both ISOs down below, one to Windows 98 and one to Windows 98 Second Edition. And I'll also, just for the heck of it, I guess, put a upgrade ISO. So if you're using Windows 98 First Edition, there'll be an ISO to upgrade to Windows 98 Second Edition. I'll have that link also down below. What you're going to want to do is click on Use ISO Image File, and you're going to want to browse to whichever ISO that you want to download. And again, all those links are going to be down below. So once you have your ISO image mounted into here, now again, that can either be the First Edition or the Second Edition ISO. You're going to want to click on the Add button down here, and you want to add a floppy disk image. So you just want to click on the floppy drive icon, click on Next, and you want to use a floppy image. And click Next, and you're going to want to browse to the Windows 98 Second Edition floppy image. And again, I'm going to have that link down below as well. Now you want to make sure that Connect.PowerOn is checked. This is very important so that the virtual machine will see this when it's powered on. So you just want to click on Finish, and you want to click on OK. So now it's all finished, so you just want to click on Power On this virtual machine. And it's going to boot right into MS-DOS. So now what you want to do is start partitioning the virtual drive to allow it to install Windows 98. So what you're going to do at the prompt here is type in fdisk, and now it's going to ask you if you want to enable something called large disk support. And what this is basically what Microsoft introduced with Windows 98 Second Edition. Is the ability to use hard drives which are over 2 gigabytes in size, which was important because it was around this time where hard drives were getting larger than that size. So they introduced this feature to allow that to happen, to allow Windows 98 to see all the space on this hard drive and utilize all of it. So now it will say that you're not going to be able to access these drives using Windows 95 and Windows NT or earlier versions of Windows and MS-DOS. So you have to make sure that you're not going to be like dual booting this with an older version of Windows 95 on the same hard drive. It's probably not going to work very well. So you just want to press Y to enable large disk support, and press 1 to create a DOS partition. So just press Enter, and press Enter again to create the primary DOS partition. So it's just going to do that, and you want to use the maximum available size, so press Enter again. And once that finishes, it's going to tell you that you must restart your system for all those changes to take effect. So you want to press Escape, and in VMware you have to press Control-Alt to get your mouse back. It might be different in Oracle VM VirtualBox or Microsoft Virtual PC. It could be different. You just want to press that certain key combination and restart the VM. Now in VMware, that's done by going up to the top left and pressing this little button up here. Once you do that, it's going to boot back up into MS-DOS, load everything again, and now you want to type in formats and C:, and press Enter and press Y to confirm it, and it's going to format the 8 gigabyte virtual hard drive here. So it's gonna, it might take a while depending on how large that the drive is. So if you have something larger than 8 gigabytes, it could take a little bit more. And now it's going to ask you for a volume label. I'm just going to press Enter for none. So now what you want to do is go into the R drive here. So just press R:, type in dir/w to make sure we're in the right directory here. So yeah, we have setup.exe right there. So just run setup, and it is going to begin initializing setup. So just press Enter. It's going to run a Microsoft scan disk on your drive C. So just let it do that, and once it finishes, it's going to copy the files to the temporary folders, and we're going to be presented with this. So this is the first portion of the Windows 98 setup. You just want to click on Continue. And for those of you that saw the Windows ME video, which I believe I did a while ago, I'll have like a little thing on screen right now. This whole thing is probably going to look very similar, or like this whole setup probably going to look very similar to Windows ME. They didn't really change the setup from Windows 98 to Windows ME, so that setup's going to be kind of, there are a few minor differences. Like after we get through this portion, it looks like a little bit different, but the main aspect looks pretty much the same. So anyway, you just want to select the directory you want to use. So we're going to use C Windows, and it's going to check for installed components. Now, if you're doing this on a real computer, as I always mention in all these videos, times on a real computer can vary a lot. It can be a lot, more time if you're doing this on a real computer that has a much slower processor compared to when it's all virtualized. So it might take a while, but you see here it goes pretty fast. So I'm just going to select the typical option, which is the top option here. If you want to choose one of these other methods, such as if you're doing this on a laptop, or if you don't have that much space, or if you want to change every aspect of the installation, you can go with this option here. But I'm just going to do typical because it's going to probably save the most time. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to click on next, and we're going to I'm actually going to show a list of all the components so we can actually customize that. And this is where we can actually choose all the things that we want. So I'm actually going to choose the desktop themes, as those are always kind of fun to look at. We're going to go into, we'll also get Web TV for Windows. So yeah, we'll get everything. Now, again, if you didn't have that much space on your computer, you could go through here and uncheck all of all the extra stuff and just have the things that or just have the things that you can't uncheck, which are these right here. So yeah, that is basically this screen right here. I'm just going to click on, or actually, I'm going to go into, where's multimedia? Yeah, I'm going to go in here, and I want to get let's get the sound schemes, the sample sounds, and I think the games. Let me make sure where the games are. The games are under. I think it's under accessories. Yeah, we want to get the games. Let's get the mouse pointers, and yeah, we'll get the desktop wallpaper. Sure, we'll get quick view. Yeah, I mean you can spend a lot of time going through here checking everything. But yeah, I'm just gonna actually let's just go through. Let's just go through this here. It's just. Actually, I think that's fine. So we'll just click on OK, and we'll just click on Next. So, yeah, as I said, you can spend a lot of time going through there, customizing whatever you want. And that's one of the great things about what they did with Windows 98. And I believe Windows ME had the same thing. You can customize everything. You can make it so you don't need all that stuff, because you don't really need all that stuff for Windows 98 to work. So if you had a really low amount of space on your hard drive, you could go through there and uncheck everything that you don't need, which is very useful. So I'm just going to give this a name of Win98VM, and we're going to go for the workgroup. Let's leave it as workgroup, and I don't think we need to put anything for the description. So let's click on Next, and we are in the United States. So we'll click Next, and it's going to ask us to create a startup disk. Now, you have to click Next here. As I always mention, in a virtual machine, this is not really that necessary. But on a real computer, this can be kind of useful if you run into any problems. This startup disk can help you get booting back into Windows 98. So I'm just going to click on Next, and since we're in a VM, it's going to start the creation, and then you want to click on Cancel to stop it, and then click. Actually, so we have to remove the disk and then click OK. So I'm just going to click on OK and not remove it because it thinks it's a startup disk for some reason. And that's going to begin copying files. So we're just going to click on the next button, and it's going to copy all of the files over. You'll see it says the estimated time is 28 minutes. So that time can vary. It's probably going to take less than that here in the virtual machine. On a real computer, usually this is pretty accurate. But you can just listen or read all these slides here as it goes through. So basically going to tell you what they introduced with Windows 98. They introduced a lot of new things. This was the first release to, I believe this was the first release to have Windows Update. They had, automatic updates rather. This was the first release of Windows to have that, to where you could go online and download updates, not have to worry about being outdated. And yeah, as they always say, it's faster, it's more reliable and more entertaining. They usually say that with every version of Windows, but yeah, that's that. Compared to Windows 95, Windows 98 was a very big improvement. They also support, I believe, with VGA, they allowed support up to 1080p monitors and dual monitors. You could have dual monitors with Windows 98, which was very nice. So if you didn't, I mean, if you had two separate monitors, obviously most people didn't really have 1080p stuff. But if you had, two separate CRT monitors, you could plug them into the same graphics card on your computer and have two separate desktops, which is very cool. I'm sure there's a lot of people. I mean, I have two separate monitors right now, but back then that was probably a really cool thing. And like it says right here, it supports cutting-edge new technologies, while at the same time providing the best support for your current hardware and programs. So yeah, I mean, I could sit here and read all these slides, but I'm just gonna probably, to save time, I'm just gonna pause the video. I'm gonna come back once the installation is finished up. Alright, so we're just finished up with the copying files portion of the setup. It's going to say that it is now ready to restart the computer. We need to remove all drives from the floppy disk drives and then click on OK. So doing that's very simple. You just want to press Control-Alt if you're in VMware or whatever other key combination you're using. And you want to, so yeah, let me just do that here. And you just want to go down to the bottom right if you're in VMware, and you want to right click on the little floppy icon and go to Settings, and you want to click on Use Physical Drive and then uncheck Connect App Power On, and then click on OK. And then you want, now obviously I don't have an actual floppy drive, I just put that here to stop using this image. So you want to click on No, and now it's not going to mount that floppy drive. So you just want to click on OK, and then you want to click on Restart Now. And when you do that, it's going to boot into Windows 98. So it's getting ready to run Windows for the first time. And again, this could be a while. This is the first boot process. It has to do a lot of things on the back end. So again, if you're on a real computer, it could take a while. On a VM, you see it doesn't really take that long. So, but here we are. Now it's going to go through the rest of the setup. Which I believe all it has to do is finish copying those files, do some registration stuff. Yeah, so here's with your user info. So I'm just going to put in the name or my name here, and I'm not going to put anything for the company. You want to set or you want to select I accept the license agreement. It's kind of hard to say. And you want to put in your Windows product key. Since this is abandonware, I am going to be able to provide a product key down below, so I'm going to go and grab one right now. Alright, so once you've entered your product key, you just want to click on Finish, and it's going to continue doing doing the setup wizard. So now it's going to initialize the driver database. It's going to find all of the drivers that it can find in the virtual machine. And it says that the estimated time left is around 18 minutes. So I'm just going to, again, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to come back once it has finished this part. Alright, so we're back, and just about 5 hours have passed since I last paused the video, and you guys probably don't have any idea about that. That's just through the magic of editing here. So yeah, we're going to let the virtual machine restart, and we're going to be booting back into Windows 98. And yeah, so this is pretty much, I think that's about it for the rest of the setup. We've done pretty much everything. I'm just gonna see what the next portion is. Hopefully it's just gonna be logging in, but we will see what it has to do. I believe once the setup is finished, it is going to ask us to log in to the virtual machine, or I mean, before that, it's gonna have us or it's going to configure all the system settings is what I believe it's gonna do next. So it looks like it's a bit frozen here. We're just going to wait for it to catch up. And there we go. So we're back at the blue screen. Okay, so we do have to finish setting up some more hardware. So the estimated time has gone down to 11 minutes now. And we are going to just let that finish up here. So I don't think I have to pause the video. Actually, I may have to. Because this is probably going to do the same thing as before. It's gonna search for all those devices and then set them up. So yeah, I'm just gonna pause the video, and I'll be back once it is finished. Alright, and of course, as soon as I pause the video, it pops up with this. So yeah, so here we are. This is the date and time preferences, And basically what this is, you just have to pick the time zone that you're in. So we are in the Eastern time zone here, so I gotta find that is right here. And it is April 15th, actually it's April 18th. It's gotten a little bit behind. Or actually, no, it's not that. It's April 18th, it's a Saturday. I guess it doesn't think it's 2015, maybe? I don't know, it's... Whatever, we'll just go with that. I don't know, that's kind of weird. It's... probably because the time might have gotten set as something different, because it's not. I mean, it's April 18th when I'm making the video, but it's not a Wednesday. It's a Saturday, so I'm guessing the year might be off because it didn't have a year option at all. So you will see that the whole bug, like in my Windows 95 video, if you watch that video. There was a bug where it will not load the CD driver when it's going to begin copying files from it, but here that bug is not present. It is able to find the actual CD drive and copy all the files over from it. So that's what it's doing here, and we're just about halfway done. So I'm just gonna let that finish. I'm actually gonna drag this out of the way. We can see what else it has to do. After this, it's just going. Okay, so it is setting up web TV for Windows. And then it's going to do some system configuration. So we're just going to let that finish up here. Alright, so we're here at 99% now. And so there we go, so we're done. And now it just has to update the system settings. And after that is done, I'm going to drag it out of this. So we have 9 minutes left. And I believe we're going to see this same window after we restart this for hopefully the last time. This is going to come up on the login screen before that we boot into Windows 98. So again, I'm just going to pause the video and we will or I'll be back once it is finished doing this part. Alright, so it's just finished up and it's going to ask us to restart. So we're just going to click on the restart now button, and it's going to restart for hopefully, as I said before the last time. It doesn't always seem like that though. Like every time that I say that, it always has to restart one more time for some reason, but yeah, hopefully this is the last time. Well, we will see. So we're just going to log in here to the virtual machine, and it's now going to build a driver information database. It's going to find all the drivers that it can. I am, however, going to show you how to install VMware tools in this, which probably will be useful for some of you guys that want to know how to do that. So once this finishes up here, we should be presented with a desktop. Alright, so here we are at the Windows 98 desktop. Now you'll notice it is in a pretty poor resolution. There's not like, any like high quality colors or anything. And this little little animation here plays really slow. It's like you can see how that how that Windows logo changes like frame by frame every single. Yeah. Oh, and look at that. Something already crashed. Okay, we'll click close on that. So yeah, I'm sure most of you don't want to really deal with it acting this way, because this is going to get kind of annoying. So I am going to show you how to install VMware tools, and that's going to probably fix most of these graphical errors. So we're just going to close out of this right here once it gives the options. So I'm going to uncheck this and we'll click close, and we will go. So installing VMware tools is pretty simple. Just get your mouse out of the VM, so just press Control Alt and go up to the VM tab up here on the menu and click Install VMware Tools. Now, and it's going to say that it's locked the CD-ROM. If it ever gives you this error, just click yes, so it can override the lock and it'll allow you to use VMware Tools. And yeah, so here we are. It is now preparing VMware Tools for installation. Now, if you're using a different VM software, such as Microsoft Virtual PC or Oracle VirtualBox, there's programs like this just for those two softwares. I believe Oracle has the VirtualBox Guest Editions, and Microsoft Virtual PC has something or other. I don't know what it's called, but they all have something that you can install to give the guest operating system like better features, like sound and like better looking graphics and things. So I'm just going to go through this. All we have to do is just click on next. We're going to go with the complete setup, and we're going to click on install. And this shouldn't take that long at all. It's just gonna copy the new files. It's going to probably your like screen may go black for a few seconds as it installs the new SVGA driver. So we're just gonna let it finish up, and we're going to be presented with this error again. Just click yes to allow it to override the lock, and click on cancel. We don't want it to continue with the eject operation. And of course we get a blue screen, so we're just gonna have to click on escape. And alright, so here we are. Yeah, I believe that happens if you already have a CD-ROM inside of your virtual drive. So if you might want to take that out before you install VMware tools. It doesn't really do that much. It just gives you those two errors, and it gives you a BSOD, but it's not really that big of a deal. So we're just gonna click on finish, and we're gonna restart. And after that, so yeah, see, as I said, after one more restart, we always have to restart one more time. We're gonna be presented with a fully working copy of Windows 98 with, full 1080p resolution and, high quality colors and all that. The only thing we won't have is sound. Now, if you remember a while back, I did a video on how to get sound working in Windows 95 and 98, because for some reason VMware does not like to install the sound driver for some odd reason. So if you're using VMware like me and you want to be able to get sound working in this, I'll have a link popping up using the YouTube cards feature on screen right now, so you can go watch that video. If you're using VirtualBox or Virtual PC or something else, sound should probably work fine. You're not gonna have to worry about anything like that. But yeah, you can see here we are working on, or we do have a fully working copy here. It's in full colors. We can go up to 1080p if we want to. For some reason, it's only going to go up to 1920 by 1440. I don't know why it does that. So yeah, we now have it working properly. I'm just going to make it full screen here, and it should, yeah, there we go. So now it's going to auto fit into full screen. I actually had to go in here and change the resolution from like 800 by, or yeah, from 800 by 600 to like this one right here. I don't think that it matters which one you choose, because there wasn't 1920 by 1080, there was 1920 by 1440 in here. I chose that one, and then it allowed me to resize the window, and it would like auto change like it normally does. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. Again, I would like to thank all of you guys who suggested this. I'm gonna find those people again. I believe that was QUEN Flow, Jaguar Auburn Incorporated, Andrew 98G, and SeepMan Productions. All of you guys, and again probably more, suggested this. I just can't find any of the other names right now, but yeah. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, and if you have your own video suggestion, be sure to leave that down in the comments below. Also be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be doing a few more of these requested tutorials soon, as I've been getting a lot of requests lately, so I'll be hopefully doing more of those. And yeah, as I mentioned, if you do want to, get sound working in this, you can go check out my video on that as well. And I think that is pretty much going to wrap it up. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching, and I will see all of you guys in the next video.